The News at 11 team is all over two breaking stories tonight. Another child dead from gun violence in our area, this time an 8-year-old boy in Prince George's County after a gunman sprayed bullets into multiple apartments. Also breaking tonight, a shooting involving police in Southeast D.C. Investigators say an officer shot a man who allegedly pulled a gun on police. Thank you for being here with us at 11 o'clock. I'm Lorenzo Hall. There is obviously a lot to get to right now, but we need to start with the young boy who was murdered tonight. Yet another precious life taken from our community. Now, we heard from police just a short time ago. They say a gunman opened fire outside of an apartment complex on Bright Seat Road that's not too far away from FedEx Field. We're being told the shooter is still out there tonight. Let's get right to our Mike Valerio. He is live where this all went down. And Mike, I know that community is heartbroken tonight and a lot of people just speechless.
Yeah, Lorenzo, I think that's the understatement of the evening right there. Good evening to you. We just heard from the chief a few minutes ago, and Lorenzo, it's really the depravity of this shooting that has shaken neighbors. Off camera here a couple minutes ago, we have people, neighbors with their heads in their hands, just sobbing and wailing about what has happened here. As you said, a man firing indiscriminately into this apartment complex and an 8-year-old dead. So we want to take you to show you the scope of this crime scene to video from Sky 9 just 2.5 hours ago. This is shortly after 8:20 this evening, as you mentioned, right near FedEx Field here. And right now, my position, Lorenzo, I'm standing in front of 3 layers of crime scene tape because as we understand the chain of events, just after 8:20, as explained to us by Chief Aziz, a man rolls up into this parking lot in his white sedan, gets out and doesn't just start firing at one apartment, but goes into multiple apartments, as the chief relayed to us earlier, and opens fire. And in the middle of that crossfire, an 8-year-old is hit. He is expedited, taken to a local hospital as quickly as possible. Our photojournalist, Kurt Brooks, caught images, was able to capture medics racing him out of here, but he does succumb to his injuries. We did hear Chief Aziz speaking about what is set to unfold now in terms of the search for justice for this family. Take a listen to what he said.
We want to bring justice to the family. Our hearts are heavy. We're grieving with them, and we intend to find the people responsible for this as this investigation moves further along. Like I said, at this time, I don't have any other information. I'm thinking about the family right now, and I plan on going to the hospital and speaking with the family during this time of a tremendous need.
So that's where we're at. We asked the chief if he was going to take questions. He said flat out no. And Lorenzo, of course, you've been to these scenes before. We are all colleagues out here, and usually when law enforcement is able to take questions, there's some reporter question that issues a litany of law enforcement responses, some emotional response or a little piece of information that can help families, the hundreds of people who live behind us here. There was none of that, so we're not left with any kind of suspect description. At least at the moment, we're left with the chief's words and this shattered neighborhood here, Zoe, that an 8-year-old is dead. Lorenzo?
Yeah, we're all thinking of that 8-year-old's family tonight, and this also just makes your blood boil, knowing that someone would unleash such terror on a community where so many families live. Hopefully police will capture this person quickly and get him off our streets. Mike Valerio, thank you so much. All right, now to more breaking news tonight. This time in Southeast D.C., a police officer shot a man tonight. That man is now in the hospital, and the investigation into that shooting is just getting started. This all happened tonight on Minnesota Avenue near 18th and R Streets in Anacostia. Our Tom Dempsey joins us live tonight at D.C. Police Headquarters with the breaking details just coming in. What do you know, Tom?
Well, Lorenzo, obviously officers this year inside MPD headquarters have put a big focus on removing illegal firearms from the streets of D.C. This evening, Chief Robert Conti says this incident did just that, while he also commended the officer who responded. On Tuesday evening, police tape and cruisers surrounded part of Minnesota Ave after a response from one officer quickly turned dangerous.
I heard a lot of sirens, and it seemed like they were stopping fairly close. And then I saw the police were all over the place and found out that there had been a shooting.
It started as a response to a man allegedly using drugs in the area, with an officer telling him to leave. Moments later, investigators say the officer noticed the man had a gun. Police then say the man pulled the gun on the officer, who
fired back, hitting the man. Crews rushed the man's shot to the hospital after he suffered injuries they expect him to recover from. Following the shooting, Chief Robert Conti commended the officer who responded.
Our police officer, we're very thankful that he was not hit. This is a brave officer who was out here doing his job, protecting the citizens of the District of Columbia.
Chief Conti highlighted how the department has recovered over 1,400 illegal guns off the streets of D.C. this year, with Tuesday's incident adding yet another.
Today we got an illegal firearm off the street. Our officer is okay, and thankfully the person who challenged our officer today looks like he's going to be okay.
Important to note, what still remains unknown tonight is if this man who was shot actually fired at the officer. But again, investigators say that the man who was shot suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Live outside MPD headquarters, I'm Tom Dempsey, WUSA 9.
All right, Tom, thank you. And of course, you can count on us to stay on top of both of these breaking stories tonight. If we get updates during this newscast, you know we'll bring them to you right here. And you can read everything we know right now in our free WUSA 9 app. All right, another big story we're following. You see it right there, dangerous heat. Hate to break it to you, tomorrow will be even hotter than today.
Yeah.
Meteorologist Chester Lampkin is here now with DC's most accurate forecast. Woo!
Yeah, that's a way to describe it there, Lorenzo. What it is, it's that humidity. It's going to be rough again. So with temperatures in the 90s, lots of sunshine, rain-free skies for your Wednesday. Our heat index will be up around 100 or hotter, and that's the case through Friday. We'll also track a couple storms. That won't come till later in the week. So here's your planner forecast as you head through the day tomorrow. We'll start in the 70s to around 80. We'll quickly warm close to 90 by midday. Highs in the 90s. Heat index as hot as 103, 104 here in Washington. Details on the cool down coming up in just a couple of minutes. Back to you.
Okay, we'll see you again shortly. Thank you, Chester. But now to an update on water main repairs affecting the 3rd Street Tunnel. It is still a mess. Drivers, keep your fingers crossed and your eyes on the road. City leaders are saying they're hoping to get all northbound lanes reopened in time for your morning drive. Now, right now, the Department of Transportation is reporting 4th Street and New York Avenue remain closed to that tunnel. All other entry and exit points to that tunnel are open. And be sure to wake up with Get Up DC starting at 4:25. Get Up DC traffic specialist Michelle Logan will help you plan your commute and let you know if that tunnel is reopened. Here are 3 more top stories we are following tonight. A high school teacher and coach arrested. 47-year-old Kirk Shipley is charged with child sex abuse. He's a history teacher and rowing coach at Walt Whitman High School in Bethesda. DC police started investigating him 3 weeks ago and say the allegations span from 2007 to 2018. And they say there could be more victims. The school's principal is calling the charges deeply troubling. In Fairfax County, a man accused of killing his mother and sister. This man, 33-year-old Bradley Lister, is charged with murder. Police say he shot and killed the 2 women inside their home in Burke, Virginia. Then he took off for Baltimore. He was found there last night. A delicate rescue. Power is back on for most people in Prince William County after crews rescued a man and woman from this power lift caught up in high voltage power lines. Crews had to turn the power off to more than 30,000 Dominion Energy customers to safely get them down. Both were taken to the hospital for burns. The man later died at the hospital. When it comes to the coronavirus, you know this team is all about the facts, not fear. Tonight we looked at the numbers to verify how many cases we are seeing in our area right now. Now this comes straight from the Maryland Department of Health. More than 8,000 cases reported in the last week. That's nearly 2,000 more than the week prior. Now, just for some context here, this puts us back to where we were in April. That's in Maryland. Now, Virginia numbers from the health department show there were more than 20,000 new cases in the last week. Case rates in Virginia haven't been this high since February. All right, we have some breaking news right now about the Washington football team. Sports director Darren Haynes is here with that. Hey, D.
Hey, Zoe, this just in. New vaccination numbers for the Washington football team. As of this morning, 90% of the players are fully vaccinated. Washington's vaccination rate is tied for 23rd in the NFL with the Chargers, Ravens, and Bengals. Almost a month ago, the Washington football team had the NFL's lowest vaccination rate at only 60%. So, Zoe, obviously, a lot of progress has been made.
We're getting there. Some progress. Steve, thank you. And you know, a lot of you are asking us questions about COVID vaccines and booster shots. Do they need to be the same brand or can you mix and match? We spent the night getting you answers and we'll tell you what we learned in just 60 seconds.